Hey guys, in this video let's discuss if tenno can actually be killed or not, and do they actually age or not. So the reason I'm making this video is because a few times people have suggested, I think because they're under the false impression that tenno are ageless and immortal, because a few NPCs say this here and there throughout Warframe. However, those NPCs don't know everything. So who are they to dictate what is or what isn't, especially when it comes to you? Like, my opinions of you doesn't dictate your reality. It doesn't control anything. That's just my personal opinion. You are whatever you are, despite whatever I may think of you. Same thing for them. If you played other games like, I don't know, I'm not going to bring up other games, but specific other games, they would be like books throughout the game, and they would have contradicting information, or different NPCs would have contradicting information as well, because some people don't actually know what the truth is. So you can't use what they say as gospel. You have to look at all the facts, read in between the lines, and discard the stuff that's unreliable. So let's start with, do they age? So, some people are under the impression that we don't age because some NPCs said that we are ageless and we don't age. However, they're only saying this because, look at it from their point of view, step in their shoes. A long time ago in the Oregon Empire, we were children, right? And we did all this shit a very long time ago, and then we weren't seen for a long time, and next time they saw us, we were children again. So they're under the impression that we don't age and we just stay children forever. However, we know for a fact that we were in cryosleep, which is why we didn't age, because we were frozen in time, and when we reawoke, we were still a child. We are definitely not an adult in a child's body. Like, look at the maturity level, look at the lack of maturity level, look at the lack of wisdom and knowledge that the tenno has. They're children. They don't know shit. They're just dumb little kids, to be honest. Sure, they've been through some shit, so they're a bit more, you know, not goofing around as much because they've been through tragedies, but they're still children. They don't know everything. Most NPCs in the game, they're talking to you like you're a child, because you are a child. They're trying to teach you things and explain things to you or guide you because you don't know the way. If you were some old sage that knew everything, they'll be following you and looking for your advice and guidance, but they're not. Sure, they want your power and skill in combat, but that's all you are really, is a weapon. They don't really regard you as some wise, intellectual, mature adult or old elder, because you're not. I brought this up a little bit in one of my videos. I forgot what it was. Maybe I'll link it. But it was, why is there a difference in age between the drifter and the operator? It's because the drifter never went into cryosleep in their timeline. However, the operator did go to cryosleep in our timeline, which is why the drifter is older than the operator. It's not because the operator is ageless, it's because the operator went into cryosleep. Which is why in my last video I assumed that Anaros likely died of old age. When we were in cryosleep, he was running around, saving Mars, being a superhero. But then came a point where he stopped and he was no longer doing anything. My thoughts was, while we were in cryosleep, he was aging. And then he eventually died of old age. Actually, no, I just realized something while talking about this video, because I don't really script my videos. I just have an idea in mind and then I ramble about it. But sometimes I come to a conclusion, and that's why sometimes you may think I'm contradicting myself. No, it's because I came to a conclusion while talking about it that overrides it, if you want to see it that way. So technically, Anaros didn't die of old age, even if he died, right? Because the drifter, like I said a little while ago, the drifter lived out their life in the 10-0 while we were in cryosleep. So the amount of time from us going to cryosleep to us coming out of cryosleep is that age, whatever the age of the drifter is. It wasn't that long ago, so he couldn't have died of old age. And that's probably how much time has passed, because I don't really see a number of when was the Great War and all this stuff, but that should be the timeline. Like, however old your drifter is. That's how much time has passed. Theoretically, that's what it should be. Unless there's some unknown variable as to why the drifter is that age and more time has passed. I don't think that's the case. I really think that it's just that. And it's weird because I was under the impression that a lot more time had passed, but I never put a number on it in any of my videos and stuff, or when speaking about it, because I didn't know the number of how much time passed. So maybe I'm wrong, and maybe they made a mistake here, or maybe there's some unknown variable to explain the age of the drifter. Why, if hundreds of years pass, why aren't they dead of old age or something, or a super old elder that doesn't die? So I honestly think that this is the amount of time that has passed. I don't know. Are we in our 20s? I don't know. Is the drifter 30? I don't know. But however old they are is probably just about how much time they passed, not counting how old you were when the war ended. But anyway, if you are following me here and believing what I'm saying, that the reason why we haven't aged is because we were in cryosleep, then we can age, is what I'm saying. The void didn't mute us from aging. I don't think that's the case. The void does a lot of weird stuff, but I don't think that's one of the things it did. So I think we can age, and if given enough time, we will age. And therefore, we're not ageless. So the NPCs are wrong. It was a fair assumption because, like I said, they saw us a long time ago, or they heard us from the stories that we were children, and then when we come back and we're seen in the future we're children again. It's a fair assumption to make, but it's wrong because they don't have all the data, so they came to the wrong conclusion. Now for the topic of, are we actually immortal? Can we die? We can absolutely die, guys. Like, okay, so when we were stabbed in the back by Ballas and sucked into the void, okay, the void healed us, or we were healed because of the void somehow. So because of that, you think we can't die? Or because Ballas said you can't kill a devil, you can only send them to hell or whatever? Again, stop listening to what NPCs say. They don't know everything. Ballas is not a god, and he doesn't know everything that ever was, is, and ever will be. He doesn't know everything, okay? Tenno can absolutely die. I'm gonna give you a few points as to why they can die, and you're gonna see that it's likely the case, unless DE made a massive mistake here. Okay, so point one is, if we cannot die, right? Why was Tension so set on the fact of like, let me clear the way? I'm talking about in the new war. He's like, let me clear the way on the ship so nothing happens to you. If we're immortal, there's no risk of anything happening to us. What the hell? How can anything happen to us if we're some kind of god or some demigod? Right? We could just walk in there and not give a shit because we can't die. Who gives a crap? Right? But we can die. That's why he was nervous, and he's like, you know what? Let me just deal with the trash. Let me deal with this, and maybe don't even come at all because it might be a trap. If it's a trap, what does it matter? If we're immortal, what does it matter? Nothing would matter at that point because we can't be harmed. So who cares? Just throw us into the fire. It doesn't fucking matter at that point. But it does, because we can die, which is why he was nervous and keeping us back while he deals with the more crucial stuff. Point number 2, Mirage. So in my Umbra video I made a while back, I put a hypothesis out there that says that Mirage was probably an Umbra, and that's why Lotus cared so much when she died, right? That's what I was talking about. I'm not going to go into all that again. Go watch that video if you want to see. But that was my point. So there's another point here that could be. So perhaps Mirage was an Umbra, and that's why Lotus cared so much about her dying. If not, she wouldn't have gave a crap. She's just like, oh well, go get another warframe. But she wasn't. She cared. So either Mirage was an Umbra, or the Tenno died as a result of Mirage dying. One or the other, or both. But Lotus cared about that Mirage dying way back when. I know some people don't want to believe she was an Umbra, so if she was an Umbra, that Tenno died because there's no other explanation for her to care that much, to be that emotionally invested, if that person was just gonna go get a new warframe. Because it wouldn't matter if they were immortal. It wouldn't matter. But it did matter. So why did it matter? Because it was permanent. Next, Sevagoth. So do you think Sevagoth's tenno is alive? Whoever was controlling Sevagoth? I don't think that person is alive. I'm sorry, guys. If that tenno was alive, once we restored Sevagoth, they would have been like, alright, thanks, you got my warframe back. Man, I've been stuck out here for ages. But no, they just drifted into the void. Basically a funeral, you know, like when you send out a casket into the sea kind of thing. Sevagoth, his tenno is dead, guys. It's dead. We're not immortal. I could probably be here a lot longer rambling about different warframes, lore and stuff like that. I'm sure I could find more. These are just a few off the top of my head. But the most important one that you cannot dispute me about is Rel. Rel is absolutely dead. You cannot deny this. Rel is a tenno. Rel is not immortal. Rel is gone. Right? Therefore, tenno can be killed. Because we're not immortal. Now, if you want to say, can we be killed in the void? I don't know. I'm not sure. Perhaps we can't. I don't know. So in conclusion, I believe we can die. I believe we can age. And I believe you shouldn't take what NPCs say as fact. Take it with a grain of salt because they don't know everything. They have missing data. So they can't come to the right conclusion. So don't assume what they're saying is reality. Or look at the full picture. Every drop of every data point that exists. Don't just take what one person says and that's it. This has to be what it is. They said it. No, like look at everything that's happened so far. Does it align with what they're saying? Because if it doesn't, maybe there's truth to it. But if there's conflict here and it's contradicting, then something's wrong. And it's probably not 100% true. Maybe it's close, but not 100% true. Anyway, in case you guys are wondering, I don't get mad when you guys go against what I'm saying. It actually gives me another video to then discuss this about. So I actually like that. I encourage it. Because, like I said, I'm open to debates all the time. And if you give me something to talk about, I will try to argue my point as why I believe this is this. And you could have your say too, like why you believe it's that. You can make a counter video. I'm fine with it. It's cool. Or I will listen to your topic in the comments. I have no problem with that. But I do encourage it because it gives me more things to talk about in videos and it gives other people something to watch or listen to, you know, if they're bored or whatever. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys next time.